The trees of the capital are sterile and fine things. The temperature dropped, demanding bevelings. With the government open for now, President Trump left the frigidity of the government for a weekend in Palm Beach. But in a city where not even the long-running federal government operation seems true, Trump adhered to a constant, a visibly sunny glow, which shone like a traffic signal against Washington's gray backdrop. As well as Warhol's white hair or Big Bird's saffron plumage, the president's vibrant tone is so consistently present and meticulously maintained that it was a culturally embedded representation of him long before he entered politics. The president's shadow is one that Alec Baldwin, the actor who plays Trump regularly on Saturday Night Live, recently described as wavering between an orange Mark Rothko and a squashed slightly paler orange, depending on the setting. That is now February in Washington. What is not in the tropics for the last time I checked, Baldwin said in an interview. The official line of the White House, as well as other issues surrounding the physical health and appearance of the president, is that the brightness of Trump is the result of good genes, according to a senior administration official who speaks only under the anonymity. And, okay, a bit of dust, a translucent, not a bronzer that the president applies before appearances on television, the authority said. But the mysteries are plentiful. A persistent question: Mr. Trump uses an artificial tanning bed, as a speaking makeup artist said in 2016, and Omarosa Manigault Newman, a former advisor, stated in a book that says everything. Ms. Manigault Newman wrote that a doorman was fired for mistreating the transportation of the metal. Trump's former inner schoolmates described him as a fan of ultraviolet rays, someone who placed a tanning lamp in a light socket to the beach. Even James B. Comey, the former FBI director became the presidential foe, speculated on Mr. Trump's brightness. The president's face looked slightly orange, wrote Comey in his memoir, with white ones and bright under my eyes, where I imagined that he put on little protective glasses. But, according to 3 people who spent some time in the residence of the White House, there is no tanning bed or stand in a secret corner of the residence, a corner of the East Wing or a closet in Air Force One. 2 high officials of the White House insisted that there is no such device. Several of the president's supporters had little to say when asked how the president achieves his brilliance or other ways in which he prepares to prepare for the camera. One former campaign admitted that aspects of the president's process sound like a captivating story, but he declined to elaborate, saying Trump should dress in peace. In addition to an artificial tanning bed, another plausible theory is that Mr. Trump uses creams or self-tanning lotions. Dr. Tina Alster, a leading dermatologist in Washington who said she treated authorities in all White Houses, including this one, said the president, whom she does not treat, was using creams or tanning sprays to get her appearance. He looks more orangey than tan, a telltale sign, Dr. Alster said. Another sign, and one that excludes dietary supplements or medications that give a general tan to the skin, Dr. Alster added, is the sight of the frequent white circles under Trump's eyes when he goes to the public. There were already enough people who asked me in their orbit, although not on behalf of the president, to see what Mr. Trump could do to achieve a more uniform skin tone, Dr. Alster said. I have nothing against self-tanning creams, but I think you need to be careful about how to apply it. She added that Trump's skin appears to show damage caused by the sun, and praised him for breaking any old tanning habit. Certainly Trump, who has been taking antibiotics for a long time to treat rosacea, a condition that can make the skin look rosy and red, is attentive to the way it appears on television. He complained that his skin and hair look very yellow or orange on the screen, according to a person familiar with his views. As a result, events in the White House are now more vaguely illuminated than in previous administrations. The president also became a fan of natural light, like the setting of the White House Rose Garden, where Trump chose to announce the end of the government's 40-degree shutdown. Whatever Mr. Trump does or does not do to his skin, he does it in particular. A White House makeup artist, funded by the taxpayer, offered her services voluntarily, but did not come close enough to try, according to 2 people who heard such discussions. Half a dozen current and former advisors and people close to Trump say he's been self-sufficient for a long time on personal hygiene issues. Your hair, for example. Trump repeatedly documented the act of self-defining his campaign, a process he has not distanced himself for decades. His system includes a head and shoulder shampoo and an hour-long air drying of the threads while he examines newspapers or attends television. In tweets, "I've stuck it the same way for years," Trump told Rolling Stone in 2011. The same, every time. At the residence of the White House, where Trump likes to give walks to his supporters, there is a series of hairsprays on a shelf in his renovated bathroom. According to several people who visited the residence, there is not an ounce of self-tanning product. Or at least it is not in sight. Baldwin, the actor, says the Saturday Night Live makeup artists are instructed by Lorne Michaels, the show's executive producer, to stay as close as possible to Trump's shadow, and not the orange. No malice. At one point, the products used to tan Mr. Baldwin included a powder from the Clinique in a honey-colored shade. But the camera adds some tones. "It's a good coating," Baldwin said of the final result.